There is a quiet danger in our society, one rarely called out because it wears the noble mask of equality. We have become so enthralled by the idea that none should outshine another, that we may be choking the very spirit that has driven civilization forward. In our effort to ensure no one is left behind, we sometimes forget that some among us possess the ambition to leap far ahead, and perhaps, if supported, these leaps would elevate us all. In this video, I want to explore how this illusion of sameness subtly saps our will to excel, and how we might recover the spirit of greatness that human progress has long demanded. We like telling ourselves we are all basically equal. Why? Because it soothes the mind. If no one dares surpass the median, no one risks envy or isolation. This notion creeps into everyday life. Education systems that push uniform standards, workplaces that celebrate group average over individual excellence, social circles that softly chastise anyone who tries too hard. At first blush, it appears kind. No one's pride is hurt, no one's self-esteem bruised. But let me suggest a concern. If we outlaw extraordinary achievement in the name of comfort, do we not invite stagnation? Could it be that by praising uniform adequacy, we lose the next great innovator, the next daring mind that might catapult us beyond our current boundaries? Friedrich Nietzsche railed against what he called the herd morality, the leveling impulse that scorns truly lofty endeavors. He believed that many societies crush the rare individual who possesses an aristocratic spirit, one determined to overcome mediocrity. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he conjured the image of the Overman, or Übermensch, an individual willing to exceed conventional limits. But how does a culture that venerates equality react to someone straining beyond the average? Too often, it reacts with caution or resentment. Such a person might be deemed arrogant or out of touch. Observers might say, "Who do they think they are?" The sense of comfort found in shared limitations, ironically, becomes a cage for anyone who dreams of transcending those limits. This illusion is seductive. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone were equally skilled, equally talented? And so, we might develop systems that nudge excellence downward, just a notch, so no peer feels overshadowed. But in reality, humans are not identical in capacity or drive. Some burn with an inner flame compelled to forge new art, new science, new ways of thinking. Enforcing uniformity cannot quench that flame, it merely drives it underground or twists it into frustration. Ask yourself, have you ever held back an idea or a skill, fearing it might uncomfortably highlight others' relative disinterest or lesser ability? By doing so, you've sacrificed your potential brilliance on the altar of a fragile harmony. I must confess, I've seen this firsthand. I watched talented friends quietly restrain themselves lest their progress in music, coding, or literature appear elitist. They seemed haunted by the question, if I continue pushing, will I lose the acceptance and comfort of my group? Seeing them wilt under this pressure struck me as a tragedy. We do not show kindness by discouraging greatness. We simply betray both the gifted individual and ourselves, depriving the community of the wonders they might create. History brims with stories of innovators dismissed or ignored by their peers. Consider artists like Vincent van Gogh, whose brilliance found little recognition in his lifetime. Society offered no easy place for his intensity. Or consider how Galileo's revelations met with institutional scorn, an attempt to level him to the common sense of the day. In each case, a spirit soared beyond the status quo, only to be rebuffed by communal illusions that their accepted truth was enough. What unites these stories is the same tragedy: fear of disruption. The illusion of equality thrives on the assumption that no viewpoint or capability stands too far apart from the rest. But this is not purely an external problem, it is also internal. When we conflate fairness with imposed sameness, we condition ourselves to stop striving. We might settle for good enough in our daily tasks, little improvements become unnecessary, creative sparks remain unlit. As Nietzsche warns, the herd mentality can lure us into a safe circle, content to echo the group's average. Our personal ambition suffers a slow suffocation, rationalized by the idea that standing out is unfair or elitist. I sense the hush of this mindset across many fields: simpler art that avoids controversy, scientific pursuits that toe the line. We rationalize it as empathy, but empathy should uplift others, not smother ourselves. Yet even Nietzsche did not advocate trampling the weak. He championed self-overcoming and the elevation of the human spirit. Real fairness, I believe, ensures no one is prevented from attempting greatness. It lifts burdens that keep people from discovering their gifts without insisting all remain exactly the same. Think of it this way: an open field for all to run. Equality means no walls blocking any runner's lane, but it doesn't mean we hobble the fastest sprinter. In fact, seeing someone run with fierce determination might galvanize others to push themselves. So too in intellect, in artistry, in invention. If you let greatness happen, it can pull us collectively higher. Let me speak plainly. You owe the world your honest best, not the casual mediocrity that conceals your potential. If you strive for mastery in your domain, you do not rob others of equality, you challenge them and yourself to step up. In sum, the illusion of equality that flattens all individual peaks often does more harm than good. It stifles the impetus for greatness and can rob humanity of its most luminous achievements. True empathy is not about shrinking or blending in. It's about removing unfair barriers so each individual's excellence can thrive. If we let a fear of standing out rule us, we risk losing genius in our midst. Genius that could open doors for everyone. So ask yourself, what heights have I resisted solely to remain palatable to those who equate fairness with uniformity? Might your pursuit of greatness not only fulfill you, but spark a light for others? Perhaps we'll never know, if we let the illusion of equality keep our potential locked away.